Hello, how's everyone going out there? My name's Professor Prawn, and I'm going to do a detailed tutorial for you all today about how I use AI image generators and AI movie generators in my workflows as a teacher and also as a performer on Twitch or as a content creator on Twitch. So on Twitch, I've been using a combination of Midjourney, Pika and Kaiber in conjunction with each other to create a whole bunch of backgrounds that I use as I'm DJing in the background of Twitch. And I've been doing that for about 3 months now. And I just keep adding, making more and adding on a theme of Professor Prawn, which is my DJ name, and mainly around prawns and psychedelic imagery based around that. And in my teaching, I've used it for a variety of different use cases. I make it to use stickers, badges, make it to use emojis, and also make it to use emojis for Twitch as well. I've used it for typography for logos. It makes really nice logos. And with Pika, you can create short videos, and it also uses a still image to animate, which I've been finding very useful. For the backgrounds in Twitch, I use some generated from Pika and some that have been animated from the still images from Midjourney. I like to use a combination. And I also like to use Kaiber. You can make a little flip book movie off a still image, which I've been using off a still image from Midjourney as well. So, and in Kaiber, you can make really nice film clips based on audio clips. So if you have a song, you can upload it to Kaiber and type in some prompts and you can create a film clip. So I'll go through with you in detail about all these different use cases and about the 3 different ones. So this is not an exhaustive list whatsoever. These are just the ones that I like to use. And I'll explain a little bit about why I like to use them. I have done a lot of research about a lot of the other ones, and I have played and toyed with some other ones. But these are the ones that I've found to be the safest when I'm working with young people, and also the most flexible for me as a creator. So there are other free alternatives to Midjourney, for example. Midjourney doesn't even have a free trial anymore. I think it starts out at $8 a month and then goes up from there, $8 or $9 a month, which I have been paying for. And it's one of those things that if you use it, then it's good value. If you don't use it, then it's not good value. And the other alternatives don't have the safety filters or the safety features that Midjourney has. So that's why I stick with that, especially for my teaching with young people. If they try and, get the image generated to make something inappropriate, it won't let them. So that's really good like that. It's definitely worth the money, especially if you're teaching. So I'm just going to show you those ones, the ones that I use. And Pika is free, which is really great. I don't think it's going to be free forever, but it is free for now. And Kaiber has a free trial, and I'll show you how to make the most out of your trial. It has a credit system. I have paid for that because I use it a lot now. But I did get a lot of mileage out of the free trial on Kaiber, and I'll show you how to maximize your mileage out of the free trial from Kaiber as well. Kaiber is a very flexible one, and you can use it in many different ways, and it's very exciting and cool, and I'll show you all that stuff. So first, I'm just going to show you a little bit about Midjourney. I'll start off with Midjourney because that's where I start. That's where I started in my learning process, and that's where I believe everyone should start because you really learn a lot. Image generators and video generators, AI, using them, and prompt engineering is very much a skill that you can master. When you first look at it, it might seem confusing and you might think it's hard. But with a little bit of practice and a little bit of tips and tricks, you can get really, really good at it in a short period of time with little technical know-how. There is some technical know-how, and I'll explain all that to you, especially in making the movies and the videos. And there's a few like technical things around that, which I'll explain. But once you get the grasp of that, it's really quite simple and easy, and you can make some really incredible images and movies and film clips quite easily and simply, or quite complicated. Again, it's one of those things that you can do, easy or quickly or complicated, depending on how much time and stuff you want to put into it. So this is Midjourney. You have to sign up, and then the way that you operate it is through Discord. And Pika also operates through Discord. Kaiber doesn't operate through Discord. It has its own interface online or as an app. Kaiber also has an iPad app or an iPhone app or an Android app, but I don't like it. I much prefer the web-based app. And so that's what I'll be using and showing you today with Kaiber as well. So with Midjourney, I'll show you we've been using it for a lot of the time with the young people that I teach, and for me, this is some of the typography that we've been doing. It's really good for making logos. We made a logo. We're playing around with logos. A funky logo in the color blue of J Music. This is the one that we were happy with. A funky logo in the color blue of J Music. And that's what all we put in, and then see how it's incorporated the music clefs, which is really interesting. And we didn't tell it to do that. It just obviously caught on to the word music and incorporated it into there, which is really cool and clever. It's really good for typography. It's really good for posters. These are some of the images that I've used in some of the posters. A young person playing a set of digital turntables. Make it funky. A funky young person playing virtual reality inside a Beat Saber with one Beat Saber in each hand. Sometimes it doesn't get it quite right. You have to try it a few times. These are some of my prawn images that I've been using for my Twitch backgrounds. Some of these ones are quite fantastic. You see that, well, it's incredible. It looks like something out of a movie set, doesn't it? And see this amazingly long prompt. So I copied the majority of the prompt off somebody else, off Midjourney, and then I changed some of the words around. A screenshot with a prawn humanoid character with a prawn angel from outer space, full body shot. So you specify certain things. So when you're doing film, you have long shot, wide shot, close-up shot, etc. So I specified it here, full body shot, which is what it's done perfectly. Mysterious Planet, 1950s sci-fi, a la Dune and Flash Gordon. So we're giving it references to pull from. Space Odyssey 2000, Blade Runner, etc. Now here's the important part. 8K, HD. So that's telling it that we want to make it look like CGI, like something that's made out of a Hollywood movie today through CGI. So you have to specify the art style. Cinematography, so we're telling it that we want it to be like a movie. Photorealistic, cinematic, with color grading. So it's all very camera, filmic. So we're something that we could use in a film. There's another one. You could use that in a film as well. And so I pretty much just copied that and then just used a couple of different word changes to get this creature. And see how it says AR 16.9. The other one wasn't 16.9. So when you're making images, outputting them, when you know that you're going to, animate them in Pika or in Kaiber, you have, or you want to, your end goal is to be a movie. You're making a film clip or something. You have to specify to Midjourney the aspect ratio. If you don't specify AR 16.9, it'll just make it square, which is not going to work for your movie. It's going to be square and not 16.9. Sometimes in the TikTok, aspect ratio is 9:16. It's up and down. But we like to go with 16.9. So I'll give you an example now. So we're going to make a background for a green screen. So for example, for a movie that we're going to shoot on a green screen, and I'm going to stand, like for example, I'm going to stand in front of it and act in it, or take a photo in front of it, or something like that. So that's what we'll do first. But before we do, I'll just show you a couple of things about the layout of Midjourney. So it's a server, a Discord server, and it has these tabs down the side. I generally just use General 1 or General 2. If you go with themed image gen, then you kind of have to stick to their theme, but it's a good idea sometimes to get ideas of prompts, like what I did with that amazing cinematic prawn character from outer space. So I'm just going to choose General 1. And what I usually do with the aspect ratio is I usually copy it and then put it in, and I'll change it. That's the wrong aspect ratio, but I'll change it. So then you hit /, and it brings up different prompts that you can pick. So with Midjourney, it's /imagine. So you click on /imagine, or you type it in, and then it brings up the prompt there. And then you type it in. So we're going to type it, we're going to do the background. So I copied in the aspect ratio, I paste it in, and I'll change it to 16.9. The reason why I copy it in is because you have to have it exact. And it took me ages to learn how to get it exact. People like coders and stuff won't have an issue, but for me that doesn't have that kind of memory recall practice. It's just easier for me to copy it from another prompt. And it doesn't take long to find one. There's always aspect ratios if you scroll up. So I'm going to start my prompt now. So I'm going to do like a crumbling building falling down in a post-apocalyptic world. So I gave it a reference, Cyberpunk 2077, which is a very famous game at the moment going around, so it should know that reference. Make a background image of a crumbling city, post-apocalyptic, set in the future. Buildings crumbling all around. Make it sci-fi, futuristic, in the style of Cyberpunk 27. And then I'll say also AK CGI. Yeah, and then go. So now it's generating. So as you can see, there's all these other, because we're in general, there's all these other people generating at the same time. And sometimes it's hard to find where yours is. You have to scroll up and stuff. So what I have learnt to do is that you click on this one and it gives you the mention. And then you press here, you go down. Doesn't look like it's got the aspect ratio. And then you press jump. And then you can see it generating. Press jump again. Okay. So now we can choose which one we want to upscale. So that they all look pretty good, don't they? So let's try 2. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So and then also there's the refresh. If we didn't like it, you can make it do it again. But I like 2, so I'll go with 2 and 3. So it's upscaling 2 and 3, and it'll make it big. I'll just check on that aspect ratio. It might not have done the aspect ratio because I didn't get it perfect. Remember how I said you had to have it perfect, and that CGI needs a space between the two things, but we'll just see in a sec. Yeah, so I didn't make it perfect. So what I'm going to do with the aspect ratio, because you have to be, if you're going to make it with the film, you have to be pedantic about the aspect ratio. Otherwise, it's hard to work. It's almost impossible to work with. So it's just easier to redo it. So I just copied it, and then make that space in between the CGI and the AR, and then on the 2 dashes in the AR, and then I'll press enter, and then I'll try it again. That's actually, I'm glad that happened because that proved to you a common thing that happens in Midjourney. In Kaiber and things like that, they have a way more user-friendly system of the aspect ratio, where you can actually press a button. But in Midjourney, it's a bit codey in that sense. So you can just tell straight away that the aspect ratio is the one that I want. It's landscape. So it's 16:9, and I'll jump on it. So I'm happy with that landscape, with that aspect ratio rather. Okay. So I'll go with 1 and 4. And so what's the V4 and the V3 and all those mean? Well, if you like it and you're not quite happy with it, or you want like a series of similar images that you can blend in or do all sorts of stuff with, then you hit version of. So if you hit version of 4, it'll regenerate based on that image. So a lot of, especially in the earlier days, when it was learning about 6 months ago, people used to use that a lot to try and get it to be more precise. You don't need to do it so much anymore because it's come a long way and it's a lot more precise these days. It does learn. It's weird over time. So you go to jump. See, this is just fantastic. Like for me, like when you play video games and CGI and stuff like that, like to be able to get that level of detail and reflection in, like, you know, you saw how long it took to generate that. If you were to generate that using CGI and Unreal Engine or something like that, it would take hours and hours and hours and hours. So it's really quite fantastic. And then what you do is you right click, you make it big, and you right click and you go save image as. And then I usually always just save it to the desktop. Now this is an image. This is an example for using a green screen. So then you put that in your green screen background and you act in front of that, or you can put in an anime character or something like that if you're making like a animated thing. So you can also use it. I'll show you a different use case now. The logos are a brilliant way, but we're going to make a background of a poster. Now this doesn't make very good words, so if you were to say words, I don't know if it's a deliberate thing or what, but so if you're going to make a poster, I'd make the background first, and then bring it into Canva or Photoshop to put your words in, or some other program to put your words in. So I'm just going to paste that in there because I want to keep the aspect ratio, but I'm going to change the aspect ratio this time. I'm going to make it 9:16 because I want to make it like a poster kind of a thing. And I have to remember to put the space in, because if I don't put the space in, the code doesn't work. So then I'm going to make a poster for, let's say, a hip-hop night. So I'll tell it what I want. Make a poster for a hip-hop night of a DJ and an MC on stage. The stage is very smoky. The background is filled with graffiti in the style of funky graffiti. Aspect ratio 9:16. Leave space for title at the top. See if that works. Got my aspect ratio right. Boom, let's go. Now I'll go back up here again to my inbox. Make a poster for a hip-hop night of a DJ and an MC on stage. The stage is very smoky. The background is filled with graffiti in the style of funky graffiti. Leave space for title at the top. Aspect ratio 9:16. The aspect ratio is spot on. Leaves the space. Fantastic. It worked. I put words in I didn't ask it to, and the words are all jumbled. That's why I don't like using words in Midjourney, because I think they do it deliberately for copyright issues or something. So I'm going to do another one now. This time I'm going to do a different use case. I'm going to make it for a sticker. Midjourney makes really good stickers. Stickers are awesome. You can just make the stickers and then print them out, and then you can get sticker paper and print them out on sticker paper, and you've pretty much got yourself an instant sticker. So I'm going to go / imagine, make a sticker, make a funky sticker of a prawn playing the decks with headphones on. So then what you do is you just print them out and cut around them, turn them into a sticker. Which one do we want to upscale? 2 and 4. So we'll upscale 2. Boom. So then you can just cut around there, just like it's shown you. You just save image as prawn sticker. Save it onto your desktop. Save. Boom. So there's so many different ways that you can use Midjourney. Definitely recommend starting with Midjourney to get the hang of your prompts, which words that it uses. Go back through other people's prompts, read them, because there's certain keywords that it hangs on to and things like that. Things like the aspect ratio and stuff like that, which I've shown you. That was a trick that took a little while to learn. So it's worthwhile just going back through and seeing how other people are doing it, what aspect ratio they use, how they use the words to make different styles, experiment with different styles. I'll just show you one more thing before I move on to Pika, talking about styles. So I'm going to make an image, create, and I've got it in mind that I'm going to animate it in Pika, which means I want to make a movie. So I'll give the aspect ratio of 16:9. But I'm going to make a character. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the different styles, like how I'm going to write the prompt first, and then I'm just going to change the styles, change one keyword, which might just be style, and I'll show you how Midjourney creates different styles. And this, again, this was something that took me a little while to figure out, and when I did figure it out, it was a bit mind-blowing for me, actually. I was like, wow, that's really cool. So I'm going to make a funky prawn character. Playing the decks in an alleyway in the style of Pixar movies. CGI, because that's what Pixar movies are. 8K, make it high def. Aspect ratio, 16:9, most important. Here we go. Boom. Okay, didn't quite get the decks part. So if I really wanted that, I'd go back and I'd keep retrying it. But in the sake of this example, I won't worry about it. Let's just go with the character part, the funky character part. So you see how the characters look. They have that Pixar vibe. It's totally got that, that claymation kind of a Pixar vibe. I'll copy this prompt. I'm not going to upscale them because I'm just going to give you an example of how the prompt. I'm going to take the DJ part out because let's just go with the character for now. Okay, make a funky prawn character in an alleyway in the style of anime. I'm going to take out the CGI and the 8K part. I'm going to put it HD. We'll see how those couple of word changes change everything. They're still a bit Pixar-y, aren't they? But this one here, got it. Cute as. So now I'm going to show you Pika. You go to Pika. Pika.art/login, and then you sign in with your Google, sign in with Discord. I like to sign in with Discord. Create a free account. It's all free at the moment. And then you go back over to Discord. That's the Pika symbol there. So you click on that. When you log in, it'll take you through the process of adding it to your Discord and everything like that. It's pretty straightforward. It's not that hard to work out or understand or anything like that, so you should be fine. So with Pika, as I mentioned before, you can add a still image and you can make that move off a still image. Or you can generate it from scratch. And generating it from scratch does work. I think it looks like they did that with this one. And again, they're specific about the aspect ratio. Because its default aspect ratio is square again, like Midjourney. Which seems a bit weird for a movie making image generator. You'd think it'd be 16:9, but it's not. But so you have to specify, and again it says here, and they have also specified the frames per second. I don't know if that actually makes a difference. I'll go into the frames per second once we've generated a few things, and I'll show you what that means. So when you're making films, there's a few important things. There's the aspect ratio, obviously, HD, and 16:9, and frames per second. So you want to make sure that it has at least 24 frames per second. And a lot of the time, when they output these, it's not. So I've been using another program called CapCut, which upscales the frames per second and also upscales the pixel density if you need it to as well. It's really cool for that. And I will show you a whole bunch of tricks in CapCut once I've finished everything else as well. So let's just start off. And again, in Pika, I just use the generate one, just a generic tab. And also with Pika, it's got that watermark there, which is another reason why I use CapCut at the end of these. And I bring them all into the timeline in CapCut, and then I zoom in to cut out the watermark. And when I export it, it makes it at the proper pixel density HD and as many frames per second as you tell it to, which is really great. You go /create instead of /imagine. And then with the one more here, that's where you add the image. And it brings up an options, click on image, and then you can animate the image. But let's start with doing it from scratch. So create a funky, on a beach. Aspect ratio 16:9. There he is. Darth Vader swimming on a beach. Well, he's walking on a beach. Wow, and it's panning like it's on a helicopter. Flyby, pulling out. Pretty cool. It's actually quite smooth. It's a lot smoother than it used to be. So you can have fun with that. And like I said, it's okay for little clips and things like that. But if you want something more beautiful and gorgeous, then you start with Midjourney. This process that I've shown you is perfect for anime, like if you want to make your own anime. So I've chosen an image from an anime example that we were playing around with in Midjourney. And so I'll just bring that in. 16:9 ratio from Midjourney, brought that in there. And I'll just say, make character talk. So then hopefully it will make the character move its mouth. And then you can bring that into your other software and give it words and voiceovers and dub overs. Make character talk. Yeah, did it. So that's another perfect example of how you can use Pika. I much prefer to use that second way that I'm showing you by bringing in the image. Show you one last time. This is the funky prawn character that I created in Midjourney. I'm just going to make that deck spin. So I'm just going to say make record spin, and animate hands, arms. Now just they made it. Now just press play. Yay! Spins it. That was cool. I like the way he moves his arm at the end. His arms are he's a fast DJ. So yeah, there you go. There's a couple of examples with Pika and the way that I use my workflow with Pika. I'll go over to Kaiber now and I'll show you a little bit about Kaiber, about how I've been using Kaiber. So there's 3 different ways that you can use Kaiber. You can animate a video clip like this. So I recorded myself DJing straight off a prompt from an audio prompt. So this was a funky boombox blasting beats with funky creatures dancing in front of it in the style of graffiti, funky, colourful, bright, neon, glowing hypercolour. And I added a song audio clip. And I used 3 scenes. Scene 1, scene 2, funky boombox blasting beats with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dancing in front of it in the style of graffiti, funky, colourful, bright, neon, glowing hypercolour. Timestamp at 50. Then scene 3, a funky boombox blasting beats with funky prawn people dancing in front of it. So, and then I changed the timestamp. And the other way is you can just create a prompt. So I'll show you. This one said, so I did it on the green screen. So then it can superimpose the goodness on the back of the green screen there, like it's done. And it's changed me a bit too, my hat. And I said, you got to put in the description of what you want it to turn into. So I said, a cyborg playing the decks in the style of sci-fi Blade Runner. So I changed it there. It's really cool how I did that. This one was the prawn video film clip that I made with my friends, Phoebe and Cheshire. They made the song. I put this out on YouTube. This one was a really big, long prompt that took a long time. I used 4 scenes, so I broke up the track into 4 different scenes with 4 different timestamps. So it says, a glow-in-the-dark luminescent prawn man with glow-in-the-dark tentacles and 2 legs in a futuristic alleyway in Tokyo in the year 2099. He dances and moves in time to the music and weaves himself around other glow-in-the-dark luminescent humanoids in the style of cyberpunk, intergalactic graffiti, luminescent and glowing, 16:9 ratio. And then I added another scene. And I changed it from an alleyway into an ocean. So I just copied the prompt, pasted it in and changed luminescent ocean filled with luminescent glowing pulsating jellyfish. He swims and moves in time with the music and weaves himself around other glow-in-the-dark luminescent dolphins and luminescent mermaids in the style of cyberpunk. Scene 3, I then transitioned into outer space. Luminescent prawn man with glow-in-the-dark tentacles and 2 legs floats around a glow-in-the-dark luminescent space filled with luminescent glowing pulsating space aliens. He floats and moves in time to the music, weaves himself around other glow-in-the-dark luminescent aliens and luminescent space creatures in the style of cyberpunk. Scene 4, then I transition into a rave. Glow-in-the-dark luminescent prawn man with glow-in-the-dark tentacles and 2 legs dances in a glow-in-the-dark luminescent rave. filled with luminescent, glowing, pulsating rave ladies. He dances and moves in time to the music in the style of cyberpunk.
We've got that thirst for rhythm.
We're going to watch this.
Static in the air, pushing higher and higher, reaching that new frontier.
So you can see how the prompt mixes in with
like a flock in formation.
the song.
They're going transform with a sonic reincarnation. Sonic reincarnation. Sonic reincarnation. Through the sky like a flare, from a spark to a fire, into the stratosphere. An audible empire, an ancient provocation. We're born and then we're reborn. Sonic reincarnation. Shake away your troubles, shake away your fear. Feel that soul drifting in the upper atmosphere. Shake away discontent, shake away agitation. Let go and transform with a sonic reincarnation. Sonic reincarnation.
So you can see there how it really did go in with what I was saying in the prompts, how it just, gave it dynamic. Adding the different scenes gives it a lot more dynamic, so it's less repetitive and it's more of a story. You could possibly even get more dynamic than that. Although I thought that worked really well for a 3-minute song. So it's a really good way of creating beautiful film clips and sceneries and backgrounds. But you can also make movies, like animated movies, using it this way, like I showed you with using the different video by filming yourself on a green screen, saying the words, saying the lines of the anime. Then you don't have to overdub as well, so that cuts out that aspect of the process. This was another video film clip that I made. Funky boombox blasting beats with funky prawn people. And I also put in Teenage
Yes,
Mutant
sir.
Ninja Turtles.
Tuned out. Now why with my tongue out? Put a tab on, get my dance on. We the next in, you the next out. I ain't never been high like this. Pussy popped off when I took a lick.
Okay, everyone. So this is Kaiber. So this is what Kaiber looks like. So this is a great. I love Kaiber. I think it's fantastic. You can do all sorts of cool, amazing stuff. Very stylized though, if that's what you're going for. There's 3 different ways. You can just write a prompt like we did with Midjourney and with Pika. We can upload an image and it'll make like a flip book kind of a style. Or we can upload an audio track like what I did with Sheshi's track. Or you can upload a video. So you click on transform and then press upload video file to upload your video. Now let's start with the flipbook style. You can also create motion in your image. So let's do a flip book first. Now when you have a trial, you have a certain amount of credits here. I bought the package, the paid package, which gave me 10,000 credits. I can't remember how much the trial is, but it's only a few hundred credits, or 1,000, or maybe not even 1,000. I can't remember anymore. So you can still get a really good taste for Kaiber with the trial, and I know I did. I got a lot of miles out of it. So there's a couple of little ways that you can do that you can get the most out of it, and I'll show you that, and I'll show you how to do it too. So we're going to click on image. I'm just going to choose an image from my desktop. I'll choose one that I've done from Midjourney. This one will do. So what this will do is it won't actually move the creature or anything like that. It'll just add more and more and more images over the top to create a flip book animation, which is really good for things like what I've been using on Twitch, or maybe you can drop it into a film clip or something like that. Press on edit your prompt. And then you can either click on the auto fill prompt subject. Let's see what it says. It'll probably just use AI to have a look at the picture. Cartoon character standing next to a record player. That's pretty bang on, isn't it? So we could say a cartoon character standing next to a record player and boombox in the style of, this is where we give it the type of art style. So I'll say in the style of graffiti, funky, neon. I like neon bright stuff in my backdrops because I'm doing it on Twitch and music, and like it's psychedelic and bright. And then you go video settings. So these video settings are quite good because they're actually buttons. Select video duration. So this is how you can get the most out of your trial. The longer that you do it for, the more credits that it uses. See over here. So when I was using my trial, I would set it to 5 or 4 seconds. And then I would hit boomerang, which plays forward for half a duration, then a reverse. So then I'll get 10 seconds. And here you can choose whether you want to zoom in, zoom out, rotate clockwise, pan up, down, left, or right. So you can play around with that. We'll just leave it at none for now. And we'll just keep it with one scene. We'll do this more scenes with the audio later. The evolve is how crazy the animation or the stylized aspect gets. You crank it all the way up to 10 and it'll be super crazy. 1, there's not much, or 2 or 0 is nothing. So just keep it at 8. Press generate preview. Wow, I really like the funky neon. So you can choose, and it will. I like this one because it's got the boombox there. Okay, create video. So the way it generates it is that it generates it off the last frame. So it uses the first frame, and then it generates, and then it uses the next frame and the next frame. It always generates off the last frame. There we go, it's done. Let's make it big. Start. Kind of went off track a bit there, didn't it? So now we'll download it. So you can upscale it, but that costs credits. So we'll download it as it is in 720. Now we can upscale it using CapCut. So I'll show you. So when you right click, there's the file here that I made. And when you right click, you go to properties. You go to details. And then it shows you your frame width and height. So it's not at 19 because we didn't upscale it. So it's at 720. It's not quite full HD. And the other bit that I said was important is the frame rate. And so as you can see, it outputs it at 12 frames per second. If we have a look at some from Pika, properties, details. Again, it's at 720. It's at 24 frames per second, which is what we want. So Pika generates it at 24 frames per second. So the other way you can create is just start by writing a prompt. So I want to create a video of neon colored prawns swimming in an ocean filled with neon bright jellyfish. In the style of neon, bright, colorful. Now we go to video settings, or you can choose these as well: cinematic, steampunk, 3D rendering, photorealistic. Let's try photorealistic. Oh, and then writes the prompt for you. Let's see what happens when it does that. Then we go to video settings. It's got 8 seconds. I'm going to make it 3. And then I'm going to choose boomerang. I'm going to choose 16:9. See the aspect ratios? 1:1. That's the classic one that Midjourney outputs to. 9:16 is your TikTok. 16:9 is your normal aspect ratio for making videos for YouTube or whatever like that. And now let's zoom in. Zoom in and up. Make it 6. Costs 3 credits to make 3 seconds, and it's going to be 6 seconds because I boomeranged it. Generate previews. And then it says there, 3, 16:9, camera zoom in and up. Here we go. Let's choose one that we like. Like this one. It's like a prawn / jellyfish. I like that. I like the kind of funky, freaky stuff. You might not be going for that you might be going for more realistic stuff, but I like the kind of weird, funky, freaky stuff for what I'm doing with Twitch. And you can add scenes and stuff like that, but we wouldn't bother adding a scene to a 4-second clip. We'll do that to a film clip. I'll take you through that in a sec. There we go. We'll make it bigger. It looks nice, the forward and up. I like that. Forward and up's cool. Maybe if you just did forward and not forward and up, it would just go straight through instead of going straight through and up. And you can see the surface of the water. That's cool. I like the reflections in the top. So you can generate a whole bunch of them and string them together in CapCut or whichever film editing program that you like. Final Cut Pro or something. I like CapCut because it upscales it and adds frames. Motion. Let's try motion. Upload an image. Let's try it to one of these ones. Analyzes it. A painting of a city with lots of graffiti in the style of funky graffiti neon. Video settings. Make it 3. Turn it up a bit. Motion. So this creates how fast. The more up is more motion and less is less motion. So let's do 7. Generate previews. They look pretty much the same, but I'll go with this one. There we go. So it just created this movement. It was really quite nice. I like that. Works really well for graffiti. That'd work really well for Twitch in the background. I might make a whole bunch of them and then string them together. And I can add effects like that, either live on Twitch or in CapCut. Really cool. I like how I made the drips on the bottom. Cool for a background for a movie, for a film clip as well. Using a green screen. You know, like what I'm doing right now, keying myself out in the background. And rapping or singing. Just make that. Doesn't take very long and you've got yourself a really interesting looking background. Very good use case for that. I hadn't actually tried that before, but I really like that. That's really cool. So we'll download this. I'm not going to upscale it. Put it on my desktop. And I bring it into CapCut. I'll show you around CapCut. CapCut's free. It's a TikTok owned video editor. Powered by AI as well. And it's got some really great stuff. Upscaling, frame generation, really cool effects and really cool transitions that you can add really cool, funky little, you know, things on top of making it just, yeah, you can make that look really nice. The CapCut, I'll show you that in a sec. I just want to go through all the different ways of making videos out of Kaiber first, and then we can go move into CapCut. So the audio one, that's where I've been doing really cool stuff. You can make it move to the track. So if you finished a track, or you got a track to use, I'll just pick one. So I've chosen audio, edit your prompt. And now I'm going to add scenes. So I'm going to show you how you can add scenes to create more dynamic film clips. So I want to create a video of a psychedelic neon rainbow unicorn. Galloping through a neon bright rainforest. With bright neon pulsating, vibrating glowflies. Fireflies, sorry. Flying all around. In the style of, you can choose some styles here as well. Let's choose intergalactic, make it bright, neon, anime. And then we go video settings. Make it 16:9. Camera movement. Zoom in and up. Make it 6 or 7. Now here, make this audio reactive. This is where you can make it move and pulsate to the beats. It says lower camera moves less with your audio, higher camera moves more. I'd probably keep it on low. Don't want it too jarring. I find it can be a little bit jarring. I usually do it to none. But that Phoebe Sheshi one, I did have it on medium or high, I think. So then we go generate previews. Now this one costs 157 credits. So if you're on a trial, it might eat up most of your credits. So you might only get 1 or 2 songs worth. It'll generate the preview, and then you can add a scene. And we're going to add a few scenes. I might add 4 scenes. Choose one that you like. This one's cool. And then add a scene. So, scene 2. Psychedelic neon rainbow unicorn galloping through. Okay, so we can make a change. Psychedelic neon rainbow unicorn flying through space. Through space and time. With vibrating neon flying aliens flying all around. Then you go down to, we can change the style too. Let's change it to CGI, Pixar, bright and vibrant. Go down to video settings. And we can change the camera now to zoom out. Down so we can make it go opposite. Here's your timestamp. So here you can choose. So this is good for the type of video clip for a track that has like different verses and different choruses. You can create it, work out what the time is for each verse and chorus and stuff like that. Make it actually fit for certain periods of the song. So, but I'm just going to just randomly do it this time. Make the audio reactive medium. Generate previews. Just so that you can see the difference between the audio reactive between low and medium. Whoa, that looks different. I like that. Okay. Mad. Okay, and now we're going to add a scene. Psychedelic neon rainbow unicorn swimming in an ocean. Full of bright neon vibrating pulsating jellyfish. And we're going to do it in the style of cyberpunk. and steampunk. Video settings. And I make it really evolve this time so you can see what the crazy ass evolving one is. And I change the timestamp. Now we can make it zoom in again. And up. We'll make it none. No audio reactive. It's time to just be smooth. Generate previews. So you can keep adding more and more scenes depending on the story. You could probably add as many as you want. Okay, now create video. Let's go. Well, let's do one more scene. Psychedelic neon rainbow unicorn. Galloping through a realistic looking field of green grass with deers and bunny rabbits jumping all around in the style of photorealistic. And then we'll do this towards the end. I'll just even out the timelines a bit so it's kind of like even. Scene 4. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Non-audio reactive. Camera movement. Right. See how it says previous image will be used as inspiration for scene 4. So the last image of scene 3 will be love it. Just the timeline, camera movement. I didn't want camera movement this time. I went back on it. Okay, create video.
Everybody in the area, hey. Call me in the city, call me 63rd. It's the brothers on the L's in that world. Call me in the city, call me 63rd. Everybody in the area, hey. Call me in the city, call me 63rd. It's the brothers on the L's in that world. Call me in the city, call me 63rd. Everybody in the area, hey. In the city, call me 63rd. Brothers on the L's in that in the city, call me in the city.
Everybody get